We all know electric vehicles are the future of mobility. However, the recent spree of fire incidents has resulted in a panic among buyers. On the top of that, the government has deferred the amendments in the EV battery testing standards. Hello, everyone. My name is Arjit Garg, and I have with me Arun Kumar, Group President OLA, to talk on the matter. Mr. Kumar, welcome to Z Mobility.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Arjit. Pleasure to be on Z.
So I'll start by asking you, now that the government has added multiple new safety provisions in the battery safety norms, what is your take on it?
Yeah, I think firstly, the importance of safety and quality from a customer point of view is the most important thing for any product manufacturer. And we really wish to commend the Government of India and the Ministry of Roadways, in particular our Honorable Minister Nitin Gadkari Saab, for coming out with these very, very progressive changes in the 156 standards. So we absolutely welcome these standards, and they are in the right direction from a customer point of view, and more importantly, even from the manufacturer point of view. Because what it does is that it now sort of separates the manufacturers into high quality, high tech players like ourselves, and as distinguished from many other cheaper Chinese imports which are coming into the market. And hence, if you look at it overall from a Atmanirbhar Bharat or manufacturing in India and a customer safety and quality perspective, it's a fantastic balance.
What, according to you, is the current ratio, or for that matter, the localization in the Indian EV industry, more particularly because you come from the electric two-wheeler industry, in the two-wheeler segment when it comes to EVs?
See, it is very important to understand that EVs desire and demand a lot of technology input for it to get the product right, the right spec, and remove all customer anxiety and manufactured at the highest standard. Right? For this to happen, you should have the breadth and depth. For instance, what we would like every player to do, and we've set an example ourselves, is that we have a future factory where we manufacture our own motor. We have the most advanced automated battery line in the country. Unfortunately, we still have to import cells, but the entire battery is made in an automated line. We have a full-fledged paint shop. And most important than all is we code our own software. So just like Apple has an iOS, we have a Move OS. Version 2.0 is at this point of time in all our vehicles, which will soon go into version 3 post-Diwali. So that's the way to go. Technology should be the differentiator, because it's not about plastic or metal in a two-wheeler or a EV four-wheeler. The core operating system of how the energy comes from the cell into the battery and how the whole BMS works, the VCU, alignment of it all through very, very advanced software, which not only does safety, but also drives efficiency and removes the anxiety on range and other things in the minds of the customer. So that's the key, and that's the secret to success in the EV industry. So what many players tend to do is they import BMSs from China, or some cheap cells from from China or other sources. They build their motors outside the country or import them. Then it just becomes an assembly versus product, a high-tech product made for the customer.
But as an auto manufacturer, and more specifically as an auto two-wheeler EV manufacturer, what is the major reason, the majority of reasons that you can pinpoint the blame to, and what are the rectifications that any OEM maker like you, or say the other either Make in India or importers of the technology, can do to stop these kind of incidents in the future?
A lot of answers to your question lies in what the government has done in the modifications to the AS 156. Because the government, players like us have worked very closely with the government in the learning process of why these fires are caused, what is the best global standard on safety and quality. And many of the answers lie in these changes. For example, the whole fuses that are required in the battery, which is either through the wire bonding or through the other components, is something that 156 has focused on. One of the biggest takeaways from 156 is how do you stop the propagation of fires? even if there
Okay.
is one cell which is, you call it a rogue cell or something like that because they're not made in India. How do you prevent it from going on to the next cell and the next cell and the whole pack? So that's called prevention of propagation. There
Okay.
are a lot of important rules that the government has brought around it and the tests that one is supposed to do. The next thing is the entire traceability, right? Cell to module to the battery management system to the vehicle, right? A player like us already does it. So we don't have any learning curve on it, but these standards then help in a level playing field. Otherwise, the investments that go in for this, as I keep saying, the cheap Chinese technology, then only cause harm to the customers, right? So many of these changes that you see in 156 is exactly a result of the learnings that the industry went together with the government of India.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the government has deferred these standards from 1st of October to 2022 to two phases, one in December and one in, if I'm not wrong, March or April in 2023. Now, what's your take on it? Are these timelines fair?
Yeah, I think we believe from an industry point of view, this is absolutely fair. The government has been kind enough to hear all the voices from the various industry players. Of course, we at OLA, we're very comfortable with these timelines, and we would love to try and beat those timelines, if not meet them, right? So I think these are fairly fair to the industry at large. And is it the industry fairness that's important, or it's the customer who's at the center of it all? We tend to believe the customer is at the center of it all, and the government is doing a very fair job of ensuring that safety and quality and the timelines are fair to go with it.
But since earlier in our conversation, you also mentioned that you are making your own software. Now, not most of the customers do not understand that a vehicle is more, at least an electric vehicle is more than just the hardware or the pretty looks or the battery range. There has to be a very solid software backing the product itself to enhance the life, to increase the quality, the life, and everything. So, if you can elaborate on what is OLA's operating system and how different is it from the regular EV makers?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking that question. The biggest message to our customers is, and I think they know us, know of us already by now, but we are a deep tech stack company, right? We have our own software engineers, we have mechanical engineers, electrical, we write our own, we have our autonomous engineers who are investing in autonomous technology. We will soon be investing in chip design. And we also have our manufacturing engineering team where we design our own lines. What it does is that it enables us to operate freely to convert what is available into the world in terms of the best technology and bring it and constantly improve it for the Indian customer, right? So if you look at the software alone, right, how to extract the maximum value out of the cell by enhancing the performance, connecting it to the motor and the MCU, right? And the right safety standards, the right telematics, right? For example, our high performance scooter uses nearly about 300 types of chipsets, right? Of which about 100 of them are very active components. These are all new age technologies. If you think like a traditional ICE industry of, get it from everywhere, assemble it, just tighten the nuts and bolts and spend thousands of crores in TV advertisements and reach it across as a customer. I think the EV revolution, the customers deserve much more than that. They deserve technology that works and it gives a sustainable feel to the planet that is already reeling with a carbon footprint. So we bring it all together for the customer, which is why we believe our investment in technology pays off, from a customer point of view rather than from the manufacturer profitability point of view, because right technology, good customers, we will always be profitable as a company or an industry at the end of the day. So we really believe this is a way that all industry players should adopt in the new EV world.
Dialing it back to the safety standards and the battery safety standards, India is at a very nascent stage of EV boom, more particularly when it comes to the personal buying of electric vehicles. How important are these battery safety standards as a country when India is, just shifting towards this EV boom? Because most of the customers, they do not understand the government norms or the policies that go behind these automobile manufacturing. So how important are these battery safety norms?
Yeah. See, what I can assure all your viewers is that we, as a company, the number one EV company in this country, which is OLA, along with the rest of the industry, are working very closely with the government. And even this 156, if you really, we've done a comparison of nearly about 25 to 30 standards in the world, in multiple languages as well. So we know the Chinese standard, the Japanese, the Taiwanese, and the Western standards, which all come in English. We've compared it all, and we can assure the viewers that the government of India and the EV industry for us is absolutely in the right direction. And these standards are comparable with the global standards that exist today in this world. So India is in no way behind. And some of the schemes that the government has brought, the standard plus the PLI schemes for EV manufacturing, are a very, very strong encouragement to high-tech players like ourselves. And which is where we welcome it, because all the low-tech gets weeded out now with these global standards that have now caught up with this amendment. So we are in the right direction, and the viewers in general, the customers, irrespective of which EV they buy, they should be absolutely confident and adoptive of the evolution of EV over ICE. And I have to add, OLA is the right starting point for that, though.
Do you think that India is actually ready for EV boom, or are we just experimenting with a new technology that might not succeed in a country like India, which is very cost conscious, very infrastructure heavy because of the population thing?
So there are two parts to that answer, right? One, if you take the two-wheeler segment that we have just commenced, right? Two-wheeler is the most democratic EV segment. Why is that? It's a very discerning customer that we have, right? A customer who's very conscious of the spends, right? And the convenience. And two-wheelers, the best thing about two-wheeler is capital non-intensive, which means you don't need expensive charging networks for two-wheelers, because your scooters, including our own OLA scooter, just fits into your 5-amp plug at home, right? And a couple of hours and you're done. It's just like charging your phone, which is now a commonplace in the Indian customer's mind. So the two-wheeler is absolutely ready for revolution, and it is happening as we speak now in this interaction. Because 12 months ago, the penetration was 1%. Right? Today, in the top 10 to 15 cities, it has already touched double digit. Right? In fact, the momentum would have been more had these 156 standards been rolled out a year ago. Right? So that the anxiety in the minds of the customer would have been even less. So Indian customer is very, very, very advanced compared to any global customer, and the revolution very much on its way. Now, if you talk about four-wheelers and commercial vehicles, for instance, there would be a few more iterations that are required, which is a public charging infrastructure on one hand, and hypercharging facilities in some way, in some form, shape, or size, so that the anxiety of the time goes away, because four-wheelers and commercial will require that. In addition, we may require battery swapping technologies in some of the commercial use cases. So that is where, if you look at a high-tech company like ourselves, we've invested in an Israeli company, for instance, which is very high-tech. It can charge your scooter, let's say, literally in minutes, right? That kind of technology we are investing in, and we'll commercialize it in the quarters to come. So a little bit more evolution on faster charging for four-wheelers and commercial, investment in some infrastructure on highway charging, which is already coming up. There are private charging networks, and evolution of battery swapping will hasten the conversion there, which is why we are investing keenly as well in a four-wheeler space. And our first car will come out in 2024. And we promised excess of 500 kilometer range in the first product that we bring out. So who needs an ICE vehicle post that?
Lastly, I know you have already mentioned and given us a hint about the Ola car, which will have more than 500 kilometers of range. What is next big thing from Ola, or if not the big thing, what all is Ola planning to diversify into? Are there any commercial vehicles you can see a use case of? Are there more variants of the S1 or S1 Pro scooters? What about the electric car? If you can just shed some light while we part our ways, what exactly is Ola working for the next big thing?
No, absolutely. We are a very transparent young company, right? So whatever we do, we take it to a customer and share with everyone. One of the most important things for India is, apart from EV manufacturing, is the cell manufacturing, right? Which is where we have put our hand forward, right? And also thanks to the government's PLI ACC scheme, of which we were awarded 20 gigawatt hours. But of course, our vision and our plan is much bigger than 20 gigawatt hours, because unless India is self-reliant in cell manufacturing, it will always be dependent on global supply chains. And the Atmanirbhar Bharat, you will always find a compromise in it unless you manufacture your own cell. And that fits in very well with Ola's scheme of technology, backward integration, and the latest to the world. So we are into cell manufacturing. We started the process with a lot of earnest. Niti Aayog and Ministry of Heavy Industries has visited us a few times to review the progress of a project, and we are very thankful. They had very kind words for us, appreciating our pace of progress. The two-wheeler, again, you will see us release a slew of models during 2023. Yes, certainly a question in everybody's mind. Will you be there in motorcycles? You bet we will, and I can't reveal more than this. And as far as the car, again, is concerned, we are following a very global approach to car manufacturing when we do it in 2024. Right now, it's product development. And when we come with a platformized approach, you will find us having ease of release of many models on the same platform. And the first one that's coming up is the sedan, high-end sedan, a premium sedan. And you'll find that a lot more models will follow the moment the first one comes out, because day one, it'll be a platformized approach for us. So lots of excitement in store for the customers, and absolutely grateful to the government of India for raising the bar in EV manufacturing quality and safety, which ensures that the best products survive in the country, not the ones that are compromised on. So I think it's a good combination for us, and in the coming decade, it'll be our responsibility to serve the Indian consumer at the center of our plans.
Thanks for talking to Z Mobility, and I wish you all the luck with your future launches.
Thank you very much. Pleasure is mine.